How to deal with an ex who still wants me in her life. This was my first relationship. Listen, I know this is extremely long, but if one person out there could offer any advice, I would greatly and sincerely appreciate it out of the bottom of my heart. We were both in college, both in our 20s. She broke up with me, although at the time I agreed to it because I had realized that I wasn't making her happy in the relationship. We went through the usual post breakup motions. I realized what I had lost and asked for her back in desperation to no avail. A week later, she initiated a hookup after drunkenly thinking that I had moved on. As in, I am assuming, faster than she. Because although I was cordial to her during the party, I didn't bother talking to her like I normally had previously. I got my hopes up the next day that we might be able to work something out, and we met up to talk about what had happened. She admitted that she was angry because I had not paid her enough attention and apologized profusely for her drunk actions. After I realized she wasn't willing to make things work, silly me, I proceeded to drill into her and let my anger get the best of me. I told her the worst thing I could think of, that I regretted the relationship and walked away. I knew I would regret saying what I did, but all I could think of was how I wanted to inflict selfishly as much pain as I thought I was feeling in the moment onto her. Fast forward 2 weeks. I know, this is getting ridiculous. We saw each other at the library. We began talking. I apologized, and she said that despite how horrendously, rightfully so, I had made her feel after our last conversation, she still wanted me in her life. I agreed that I wanted to remain friends with her because, ready for the love of God, I'm still crazy about this girl. I told her that if we were going to try the whole friends thing, I would likely try to get back with her. She told me that she didn't want to hurt me in case things didn't work out. So I asked her to tell me right then and there that she was over me so that I could accept it and move on. She refused. And now this is where we stand. I asked her if we could take things slow, and she responded that despite associating me with nothing but pain, she still cared about me enough to want me in her life. I felt overjoyed right after because so what if we were friends? At least I got to see her and talk to her without feeling awkward. But typing this out, I'm realizing that the pain and hurt persists because I'm slowly starting to realize she is going to move on faster than I am. Especially because she has no problem being friends with me and still wants me in her life. And although we will still have some form of connection, it will never likely rekindle into anything past the platonic strand of our relationship. I know the obvious form of advice is to move on, but it's hard because we have so many mutual friends and neither of us are willing to sacrifice them or each other. What should I do? Continue playing the friend card even though it hurts me? Cut off all ties and possibly risk feeling worse because I'll choose to distance myself from these mutual friends? Well, I actually think that this is a very common case. I think that I will never stop counting how many times I have heard the story of if I cannot have you as a lover, at least I have you as a friend. And that is one of the biggest mistakes someone can make. As long as your feelings for the other person remains the same, there is no possibility a proper friendship will work. Because just as our OP in this post wrote it perfectly, she is moving faster than he is, and if they stay close friends, that means that he will see how she starts falling for someone else while he is still feeding those feelings for her. So, what happens is that when you are still in love with someone and you are still in contact with them, you are still seeing that person as this wonderful being, and you're spending all of this time together and just admiring them and thinking of how I wish I could be with you. I want to still be with you, and I see you every day, and I think about this every day, and you are not giving yourself the time to learn how to be on your own and to prove to yourself that you can still be on your own. You can say to me, this girl will eventually find someone and it doesn't matter if he's there or he isn't there. So, who cares if he is there to watch it happen? Some even might argue, if he's there when she starts falling for someone else, maybe he can finally understand it. But I don't think that's the case. I believe that if he is still friends with her when she starts falling for someone else, that will cause a lot of drama, much, much more drama in the friend circle if he just decides to cut ties with her and move on his own. And then, when eventually she is with someone else, then it will be easier for him to accept that, especially if there's no contact. Like, he will feel like he has no right. When that happens, maybe it will hurt, but it will definitely hurt less than if he keeps ties with her. Because there's another little tiny fact about this story that really caught my eye, was that when he asked her to tell him that she didn't want anything else with him and that he needed to get over her, she refused to say so. Where I am from, we have this little metaphor, and we call people like him a little candle. So, the concept of the little candle goes like this. I will use myself as an example so this doesn't get confusing. So, let's say that I have this person in my life who really likes me, really loves me, and I'm very aware of that. It's not a secret to anyone. Everyone knows that this person, this mysterious person, loves me, likes me, like they would do anything to be with me. And I know that. And, I actually appreciate feeling loved, feeling needed. I like the attention. I don't want anything like with this person. Like, I will never see them as something more than just my friend, like someone in my life. But I really like what they give into my life. And it's that love and attention that I don't plan in reciprocate. So, what do I do? Well, I keep things friendly and flirty enough to keep this person right where I want them to, you know? And so, that is my little candle. I leave that little flame turned on. So, whenever the darkness of loneliness come at me and makes me feel miserable, I can turn to my little candle and they will make me feel better without any compromise. So I can go out whenever I feel ready back into the world and do as I please again. And I do believe that this girl, she might be holding on to old feelings still as well. However, yes, she is open to the next guy that comes her way. But, that happens. It's nice to have someone so she doesn't feel alone. And I truly do believe that this is what is happening to this poor boy. The worries for Opie is that they share friends and that he doesn't want to sacrifice those friendships because of her. And I really think that it doesn't have to be the case. I do believe that if he talks to their friends and explain the fact that, she no longer has feelings for me, but I still do, and I don't think that I can be close to her. I need some time, some time apart from her. And I would really appreciate if maybe we can meet each other without her there. Like maybe, yeah, you won't be able to hang out with everyone at the same time, without inviting her, because that might cause some drama because she might find out that, you are planning all of these things without her, and she might feel hurt, and you don't want that, of course. But I do think that it's possible for you to still see your friends, maybe not all of them together at the same time, but you can still meet with them if you put the effort and talk to them. But I believe that if he talked to her and explained things to her, she might even understand that he will be seeing their friends and he might not invite her, but that's for the sake of maybe in the future be able to have some type of friendship, or at least be cordial to each other in some time. Because another thing that was pointed out in the comments of this original post that makes a lot of sense as well, it's a really good point, is that whenever he has a girlfriend again, she won't be very fond of the fact that he has kept his ex-girlfriend a close friend. That will cause drama inevitably that will cause some type of drama in your relationship, especially because again, I go back to the fact that she was like, you mean nothing but pain to me, but I still want you close to me and in my life. Yeah, it sounds like she just likes the attention. And I don't know, maybe she even likes a little drama. Because if she started, if OP is being sincere and she was the one who started that drunkish makeout, then that, yeah, that means that she is using him for some kind of solace. It's like she doesn't need to be with him to get from him what she wants. And I don't know, maybe I am being too severe to this girl. Maybe she is just also having problems moving on. Like she doesn't want anything with him, but she's having problems moving on. And if that's the case, then with more reason, this OP needs to move on. And in the long run, that will be the healthiest thing that can happen to these two. These two seriously need time apart to properly get over each other and stop depending on each other to feel happy.